As Irving Animal Services Officer Brittany Polk gets into her truck, she knows things could end up getting a little wild.
I've got 4 traps that are currently pending. All of them happen to be wildlife.
More on those traps in a minute. But with all the growth going on in Irving, experts say encounters with wildlife are getting more and more frequent.
Probably about 50% of our calls are about the urban wildlife we do have here in Irving. So we get a lot of questions, some concerns, some tips on like, what should I do? Can I remove them?
And with more run-ins with things like rodents, snakes, and other furry friends, it's no wonder residents are interested to find out where the wild things are at this meeting at the Valley Ranch Library.
The more common ones here are going to be your mammals, your cottontail rabbits, the fox squirrels. More unseen are going to be raccoons, possums, the coyotes and the bobcats. They're all still here. They're just, some of these are better at staying out of sight than others.
Chris Jackson has spent a lot of time studying urban wildlife. But unlike Irving Animal Services, the only capturing he is doing is with his camera. Photographing and documenting hundreds of animals for his website, dfwurbanwildlife.com.
Photographed this one early one morning. He was working his way down to the creek to get a drink. I call it the common and the uncommon. So I covered stuff that people may encounter with some frequency and other species that are hardly ever seen that you have to work to see here in the Metroplex.
Trying to stay out of sight is the name of the game for most urban wildlife. But when someone sees things like coyotes and bobcats, well, that could be a little more than just a nuisance to neighbors.
Usually though, we advise if you see those guys, we have a technique, it's called hazing. So if you see them, scare them off. So either spray them with a water hose, make a lot of noise. It sounds silly, but get pots, bang them together. The more uncomfortable you make them, the more they will not want to be around the area and they're going to move on.
The hazing technique is a very effective way to discourage bigger wildlife from staying around for too long. But for smaller animals that don't want to move on so quickly, residents can request live traps to be placed on their property from the city.
We rent out live traps to our Irving residents for free. They get to have that trap for 2 weeks. They just come to the shelter, bring an ID with your current Irving address on it, pick a trap up from us. You can go home, set it, and then you just call us and then us officers will come out, we'll service it, we'll remove those animals, and we'll relocate them for you.
One of those traps caught this possum hanging around this South Irving home.
So these guys, they're pretty simple actually. If you grab kind of behind their jaw, they can't move their head. They're actually pretty docile. Possums are very beneficial to have. They kill snakes, mice, anything we technically don't like and are fearful of, those guys kind of eliminate them for us. They actually cannot carry rabies because their body temperature is too low. There's like a 99% chance that they will never have it.
But before we could release this one, Officer Polk found out this possum had another surprise.
She's actually a mom, and those are her little babies.
That will soon be contributing to the ever-growing wildlife population in Irving.
These wildlife, they are very beneficial, and I think it's a good thing to kind of keep in mind that it is okay to coexist with them, just do it the right way.
Brett Wheeler for City Source.